Now, KCAU 9 News starts with your forecast first.
Well, Siouxland, still breezy conditions, much like we had throughout all the daytime, as we see strong wind gusts still shaking the camera, as conditions have been clear with a pleasant sunset out from the studio. Temperatures are dropping and in a hurry for some of the northern portions of the viewing area where the colder air is moving in, as we see some 50s still out to our south and southwest. I'll let you know how chilly the evening will be and if Saturday is going to be cooler, as KCAU 9 News starts right now.
We are Siouxland Proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 6.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mavi Hannon. Tim will be joining us in just a few minutes. Today, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds signed into law a bill that removes gender identity as a protected class from the state's Civil Rights Act. The details, as is our top story at 6. The governor signed the measure into law earlier this afternoon. That takes effect on July 1st. This comes one day after state lawmakers in the Iowa House and Iowa Senate passed the measure through their respective chambers. There were also LGBTQ supporters in the state capitol rotunda protesting the measure. This new law takes away protections from discrimination in employment, housing, wages, along with requiring birth certificates to reflect a person's sex at birth as either male or female. Governor Reynolds said a video posted on X that this topic is, quote, a sensitive issue for some, end quote.
It's common sense to acknowledge the obvious biological differences between men and women. In fact, it's necessary to secure genuine equal protection for women and girls. We all agree that every Iowan, without exception, deserves respect and dignity. We are all children of God, and no law changes that.
This new law makes Iowa the first state in the U.S. to remove gender identity protections from its civil rights code. And this executive director of Iowa Safe Schools released a statement on the bill becoming law, saying in part, quote, Governor Reynolds has made it clear her version of freedom to flourish is only for those who fit her narrow, outdated vision. If there is one message to send to Governor Reynolds, it is this: transgender Iowans have already existed and will always exist, end quote. And Iowa Secretary of Agriculture Mike Naig made a visit to Siouxland today. He took part in a rotunda in Ottawa where Naig and area business leaders discussed rural economic development and rural vitality and energy availability. Naig says since December of 2024, about 15% of the state's egg-laying capacity has been lost due to the bird flu. Naig says he expected bird flu cases in Iowa to continue into the spring season. Naig adds he hopes the Farm Bill gets passed this year.
I'm still very hopeful that we will in fact see a farm bill in 2025. In fact, we really need to see one, but it may take the second half of the year to get that done. The farm bill is critically important to Iowans for many reasons, not the least of which being nutrition assistance, but also in a very important safety net for farmers, especially as we're experiencing softness in the ag economy.
When it comes to the USDA's prolonged plan to combat avian influenza and lowering egg prices, Naig says he's thankful for the focus that the agency is bringing to the issue. And the city of South Sioux City, Nebraska got what they hope will be an economic boost. They were recently designated as one of 5 inland port authorities in the state. The city applied for the designation last summer and found out at the end of January they had qualified. They're the 5th and final city to earn the designation under a program created by the Nebraska legislature in 2021. The city met 3 of the 4 requirements to get the designation: rail service, access to the Missouri River, and proximity to a 4-lane highway. The only requirement not met was the airport, because the Sioux Gateway Airport sits across the river here in Sioux City. City officials say the designation gives them access to state funds they would not have otherwise been able to obtain.
The way that South Sioux is growing, and anything that we can do to have another tool, another avenue to look at how we can make that, continue that growth, is basically what it was. We are looking at tremendous growth on housing, commercial and industrial section. Well, let's continue to do that, and here was an avenue that we can possibly get some funding to continue that growth.
And coming up at 10, KCAU-9 News reporter Travis Chin takes a closer look at how South Sioux City will use that money from the port designation for development. Well, checking back in with meteorologist Victor Perez. Victor, how's it looking out there?
Still breezy with gusts reaching up to 40 miles per hour across the region. Highest gusts that we saw recorded were 55 mile per hour gusts up to our north in Esterville. But you'll see that more and more of Siouxland is beginning to settle down, and this is going to be the trend as we go through the evening hours, as we see that most of the viewing area is now under 40 miles per hour. And we've also seen that some of the red flag warnings have been eliminated for central and northern portions of the viewing area, but in western central Iowa and through Nebraska, we'll still see red flag warnings until 8. So just make sure you're exercising caution, especially with any open flames. Back to you, Avia.
Well, thank you, Victor. And healthy living programs for kids is the focus of a local fundraising event underway in South Sioux City tonight. And wine is playing an important part in the event. That's where we find KCAU-9 anchor Tim Seaman tonight. Hey, Tim, how's it going?
Hey, Avia, good evening. I'm inside the all-new Marriott Convention Center here in South Sioux City, and a great crowd beginning to form, as you probably can see behind me. Doors open here at about 6 o'clock, a couple hours here, and we really can't, as you mentioned, whine about this winter, the winter that we have had, but there will be plenty of wine sampling here tonight. That's what Wine About Winter is all about, that and raising money for programs at the Norm Waite Senior YMCA. I guess you could say we're embracing the cold in the warmest way we could by sampling some amazing wines here tonight, several varieties as well as champagne, freshly carved prime rib, some hors d'oeuvres, silent auction, and some mingling, that is for sure, all in support of the Siouxland YMCA's healthy living programs. Every sip and every bid here tonight is going to help a Y member on their wellness journey. There's plenty going on at the Y, upgrading the healthy living programs, that's underway, a new wellness floor and equipment beginning to go in as well. That'll happen coming up in March. We also want to tell you just a little bit about the Y, some very impressive numbers to share in what happens at the Norm Waite Senior YMCA. The Y has 3 pillars: youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility, and it's that healthy living that we're targeting here tonight at this event. Get this, just a year ago, more than 267,000 community members were serviced at the Y, taking part in a program or a daily workout of some type. That is pretty amazing. The Y offers programming for 6-month-olds all the way to seniors, currently finishing, as I mentioned, that new child care center and upgrading the healthy living programs with a new wellness floor and equipment. That's set to begin in March. We talked earlier tonight with the Associate Executive Director, Lene Larson. She was telling us that the new child care center is now about 2 weeks away from opening, and there are still openings for child care, infants, newborns, I believe, as well, and young children, with a new teen section there as well. So if you're a parent and you're looking for child care still, you might reach out to the Norm Waite YMCA, as they probably can help. Getting started here tonight, again, the silent auction's already underway. Folks looking for their best item to bid on here and helping those healthy living programs at the YMCA. We're sure glad everybody's here. We're glad KCAU-9 again gets to be part of this event as we're back once again. Avia, that's the story here. Lots to get to, all for a good cause, but plenty of fun as well at Wine About Winter. Live at the Marriott Convention Center, Tim Seaman, KCAU-9 News.
Well, thank you, Tim, and have fun. And the Woodbury County Emergency Management are seeking volunteers to help out with 2 crucial programs. Officials say they're looking for residents to assist with the Emergency Management Support Team and Citizens Preparedness Task Force. A member of the county's emergency management says the team gets people from all walks of life who want to help their neighbors in crisis.
Volunteers are crucial for emergency management because in a disaster, sometimes the need for help exceeds the available resources. So that's when trained volunteers can step in and help with search and rescue, shelter support, first aid.
And if you're interested in volunteering, we have more information on our website at SiouxlandProud.com.